Hi, I'm Dr. Grace Monmaney, Associate Veterinarian with Loomis Basin Equine Medical Group. I'm here today to talk to you about preparing for wildfire season and how to safely evacuate your horses in the event of a wildfire. There's a lot of different aspects that happen once fire season starts. We tend to field a lot of calls about what to do in the event of heavy smoke. Smoke from wildfires contains very small particles that can be unhealthy to the lungs. These small particles can travel deep into the tiny airways of the lungs and cause multiple respiratory signs, including difficulty breathing, coughing, nasal discharge, and respiratory distress. If your horse suffers from something like Hughes or reactive airway disease, they may be at more risk for developing respiratory signs and or secondary bacterial infections. Other signs that might also be seen is eye irritation or skin irritation if they're particularly close to the fire zone. If smoke is heavy in your area, it is important that we do not ride, or at least limit the amount of riding we do. The air quality index used for people is generally applicable to animal exercise as well. We recommend giving your horse ample time to recover once exposed to smoke, at least 2 weeks, but some horses may take up to 6 weeks to recover. People often ask us, when should they call the veterinarian? If your horse's respiratory rate is consistently above 30 breaths per minute, they're having coughing, eye irritation, nasal discharge, or any other signs of respiratory distress, that might be the appropriate time to call your veterinarian. We'll do a complete physical exam and assess if anything like nebulizer treatments, IV fluids, or antibiotics are necessary. Another thing we might recommend is a bronchodilator. We do recommend having plenty of fresh water. Keeping the airways moist, especially during heavy smoke, can help clear the airways. The other thing we also recommend is if the environment is already dusty, so a dusty arena, dusty paddocks, dusty hay, dusty bedding, is helpful to reduce that dust since the airways are already taxed by the heavy smoke. In recent years, there have been a lot of questions about whether to do nebulizers or breathing treatments in order to help avoid horses having problems with the smoke. This is not typically recommended. Medications are often administered through nebulization and can be very important, and some horses may require this during fire season. However, being administered breathing treatments without the advice of a veterinarian can actually be harmful in some cases or not helpful. Next, I would like to talk to you about what to do in the event that your area is being evacuated because of a fire. First and foremost, your safety and the safety of your family is of the utmost importance. You need to take care of yourself first, and if there's time to take care of the animals, then do so. Having a plan and practicing your plan ahead of time can help keep you and your animals calm in the event of an evacuation and make it move more seamlessly and get everybody out in a safe manner. During the evacuation is not the time to be teaching your horses how to load in a trailer. You need to practice this ahead of time. Prioritizing your plan is important. Know who goes in what order. If you don't have enough space to do everybody at once, have it posted so that in the event of an evacuation, you can get everybody out and you have a plan and you're not scrambling at the last minute. Having your evacuation plan and prioritizing the evacuation plan and having this posted in barns or in your house or in the horse trailer can help ensure that in the event that you're not there to help evacuate, that your family and friends can get everybody out safely. If you get word that an evacuation has been ordered, start immediately. Do not wait to see how close it's getting. Time is of the essence. During peak fire season, it is important to be ready. Have your horse trailer hooked up or ready to hook up. Don't have things stored in your horse trailer or wait to be fixing a flat tire in the event that an evacuation is ordered. Make sure that everything is in working order and you're readily accessible to your trailer. Know your evacuation routes and know your evacuation locations. These are oftentimes fairgrounds friends' houses, or boarding stables. Have a plan worked out or know where your evacuation locations are. Having some basic supplies prepared ahead of time can also help in the event of an evacuation. A first aid kit with bandage material, basic medications, any prescription medications for your specific pets, and wound cleaning materials. Have halters and lead ropes in good working order readily available as well. Leather and rope halters are best, as nylon halters can get hot and melt. Additional things that might be helpful is water and feed, but do not waste time getting these. Often those are available at evacuation sites. Having a horse identification packet prepared ahead of time may also help in the event of an evacuation if your animals are not able to be evacuated. Within this packet or on your phone, have current pictures available with identifiable markings or scars or brands. Having your horses microchipped can also be very helpful in the event of a natural disaster such as a fire. This is something that Loomis Basin can provide if your horse is not already microchipped. What to do in the event that your horse cannot be evacuated? We often get questions about, do we turn the horses loose or keep them confined? This is a great question that doesn't have a straightforward answer. If at all possible, it is best to keep them confined to a large area without a lot of debris that can get burned. So a large dry paddock, dirt paddock. Loose animals can get on the roadway and impair emergency vehicle access. Taking off fly sheets, fly masks, tail bags, and halters is also important in the event of an evacuation, as these can cause danger to your horse, as they can be a source of fuel for fire. So to wrap up, have a plan. Make this plan with your family and get everybody on board. Prepare. Get everything prepared ahead of time. First aid kits, animal identification packet, the trailer. Practice. Get the whole family in on practicing this plan. Have your plan posted in common locations such as the barn, the trailer, and the house. And always keep you and your family's safety first.
My name is Ryan Hughes. I work with CAL FIRE. I'm an engineer in Nevada, Yuba, Placer County. I'm here to talk to you guys about preparedness. I'm here to talk about all kinds of different things that you can do to be ready when a wildfire comes to your area. So when it comes to being a horse owner and a fireman, there's two things that I like to do. One, make sure that I have good clearance around my property. It goes hand in hand, obviously, with what I do. So when a fire comes, I'm ready for it. It all comes to clearance. Clearance is a huge thing. When we're making access into properties, that's one of the things that we look at is basically construction type and clearance, access, so that we can get in and get out easily. If you have closed gates on your property and you know there's a fire in the area, leave the gate open so that we can get in. Some good information about prepping your property, you could find it on readyforwildfire.org. It's a CAL FIRE site. It'll tell you all kinds of information. Talk about preparedness, defensible space, and evacuation routes. The best thing that you can do is leave early before the fire gets there. Another thing that you can do is repetition, is practice loading your horses in trailers. One of the biggest things that happens is people tend to panic, and when they're panicking, things go wrong pretty quickly. I'd suggest the more you practice, the better you're going to get. I think it's an excellent idea to write down your plan. You can practice whatever your plan is. That way you know what your evacuation route would be out of your property. You could make sure that you have the right supplies to last you a couple days, especially in your horse trailer. If you have to leave animals behind, you could write your phone number on your horse's hoof and spray paint your number on your fence so that we can contact you. That would grab our attention. I'd say if you're going to leave us a letter or a note, leave it on your gate. A lot of people tend to think that the right thing to do with horses, if they're inside their stalls, are just open the door and let them run free. Problem is you have first responders coming in, you have other vehicles, other people trying to escape, and it's just creating a hazard for the first responders, and the people in the area and the horse, of course. I would suggest if you have to let the horse out, put him in an open area, like even a round pen or a big pasture, something that has lock gates. Try to pre-plan to where you have water, sufficient food. Even if you're not there, the horses have a chance of survival, or whoever's in there, first responders, are able to give the horses food and water. When it comes to evacuating your horse, if you continuously take that same route, you're going to be a lot more comfortable driving it. One of the biggest problems with evacuating when the fire is there is widespread panic. That's why it's better to leave early. You'll have a lot of people that will come in to take pictures of the fire, just watchers. You have a lot of people that are just trying to escape, panicking, and don't take other people into consideration. They're just trying to get out. One of the things that I'd suggest doing is obviously loading the horse multiple times, getting used to it. If you have family members, teach them how to load the horse. There shouldn't be just one person that knows how to load the horse. Have them know where the halter is, have them know where the medications are, where the food is. Park your trailer in a place that you can get to it quickly. Don't drive too fast. Remember, wherever you're going, you want to arrive alive. Just be calm. If the fire is coming and you're in an area that's dangerous, I would suggest going to a large open field, large open parking lot, someplace where you're out of the roadway that first responders can get in, but you know that the direct flame isn't going to touch you or your trailer. I would suggest removing shavings and stuff from the trailer, because firebrands are a real thing. You don't want any kind of possibility of firebrands going into the trailer, into the shavings, to catch fire while the horse is in the trailer. A firebrand is an ember that could be cast from many different things: the bark of a tree, branches, pine needles, roof shingles, things that are on fire that the wind can pick up, that's either created from the fire or just the actual wind, and it pushes in different directions. So light flashy things like grass or shavings are the perfect thing for ignition for a firebrand. So as far as our efforts go, life is always going to be number one. Life, environment, property. Those are the three things that we're out to protect, but life is always going to be number one. So we're worried about the people, we're worried about the animals, and we want to make sure that they're either safe or getting out safe. Having a water source marked that is visible for us, it's going to help us both defend your property, your neighbor's property, and help with suppression. You know, I've been on a lot of fires. So as a homeowner and somebody being home when I lost my house in Paradise, I did have a plan and I was able to stay calm, but I did see widespread panic. When it comes to me learning something from going through that, I'd have to say being prepared, being calm, and recognizing what was around me, knowing my evacuation route, having a secondary plan. And that's something that everybody should have also. In firefighting, we call it a TRA, or safety zone. A safety zone is an area where the fire can't touch you at all. A temporary refuge area is a place that we take shelter in, that it's temporary. It's not going to hold up and keep us safe the whole time, which would be a large parking lot or something like that. So my evacuation route was jammed up with traffic and people panicking. So I chose to go to my TRA, which happened to be a large parking lot, and it kept us safe for the moment. And when my escape route cleared up, we were able to safely escape the fire. So in closing, I would suggest going to readyforwildfire.org. Take a glance through it. It has some great information. Come up with a pre-plan. And if a fire's coming in your area, leave early.
We hope you find this video useful and informative. We hope that none of you ever have to experience an evacuation or wildfire in your area. If you have any questions, you can contact any of our locations within the medical group.